Hello, Daniel. Nice to see you again, to talk again, and to you and my other friends, limited as they may be. But we're back to the normal things that we like to talk about. And we have an upcoming election, and the world's in bigger trouble than it was the last time we talked. But it seems that we're living in biblical times with earthquakes and floods and wars and rumors of wars. But it may be that we are living in biblical times. And we did get to see a miracle. The entire world got to see this miracle. And that's when Donald Trump's head was twisted by an angel with a millisecond and saved his life. And he was cut in the ear. And as Archie Bunker would say, it's in the good book, or Matthew 16. It says, "Blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear." And to many biblical scholars, the ear, the right ear, may be a receiver of divine communication and a bridge to a spiritual awakening. And I think we witnessed that on July 13th. The FBI is investigating it. They're working on it. But I don't think it's the same FBI that handled the January 6ers. They were making arrests the following day. And the people were coming home from the January 6th event in Washington. They had handcuffs out, and they put them in jail without any trials, and until their trials were held, and many of them are still in the jail. But things have changed a lot since then, and we've gone through a lot. And I just happened to see in the newspaper today that the Georgia Election Board has now a 3-2 advantage, with Republicans being the 2 votes for the Georgia elections, the Board of Elections. That's a good sign, because we all know that Georgia was stolen. And in Pennsylvania, the elections in Pennsylvania, the registrations have gone. For every 1 Democrat that's registering, 3 Republicans are registering. And remember that in the 2020 election, President Trump went to bed with a 900,000 lead in Pennsylvania. And when he woke up in the morning, they certainly changed it. But things are changing there as well. And some other changes in the world is, I see in the newspaper today that last week, the Germans had stopped all aid to the Ukraine. Of course, that's after they shipped them some tanks, some German tanks. And I must feel the Russians are very sensitive to German tanks, because the last time those German tanks were on Russian soil, and in that same area, I understand that it was one of the largest battles in the world, in the history. Over 80,000 Russians were killed in one day of fighting. 80,000. Yikes. And but Germany is cutting off funding, and now they're going to sue the Ukraine for blowing up the gas line, that Nord Stream gas line. That gas line was owned by half of Germany and half of Russia, and the Germans want to be compensated for the billions of dollars they spent building that pipeline. But we'll see. The the Democratic election takes place this week, and there'll be a lot of crazy things going on. But bear in mind that we live at a time where emotion is everything, and the news media, it seems, covers only emotion. Kamala Harris that no one had voted for has the choice of the Democratic Party, not the voting members, just the party itself. They chose it, no, without any votes. And we have to maintain our stability about what's going on in this election. And I think that we have to deal from logic and truth. At least I try to deal with logic and truth. And that's what the world is missing, because the news media has confused our people, the world, for a long time. It's just emotion and a little truth. And the way out of this maze is to, I think, to follow logic and truth. And an emotional person, everything runs on emotion. It's a good person, it's a nice neighborhood, or it's this, that. Everything is vague. But a logical person believes in following logic and truth. As an example, if you were driving down the highway, you notice your gas gauge is running a little low. Well, logic would tell you, in the real world, you're going to run out of gas unless you get more gasoline. Now, the emotional people would say, oh, well, 10 reasons why or whatever. But they resort to logic also when it really becomes the truth. And they're forced to pull into a gas station or their car will stop running. And we can see that our country is stopped running because we've run on a more emotion than logic. And the truth be known that we are seeing it in the stores and our gas stations and our products that we buy. And we have to look at this upcoming election like we would there again with logic and truth. If you had someone working in your yard and he wasn't doing the work or not doing what he's told to do, you'd logically get rid of him. If you had someone cleaning your house and they were to steal money from you or take money from your drawer or something like that, you'd fire them. And if you dealt with people that misled you and lied to you, you wouldn't use their service. That's logic. And it's truth. You don't like to be lied to. You don't like to be cheated. And yet when it comes to an election, it's all, so many people, it's emotion, not logic. And many people are using logic because they're being forced to use logic and truth. And using logic, $2 of gas when Trump was president, $4, almost $4 now, and it has been. And every item that is shipped costs twice as much just for the fuel. So we can see that logic and truth are affecting our lives. And hopefully we will use logic, seeking truth, and make the right decisions as we go along. And I just want to make this brief video to get back in the swing of things. And I look forward to finding out some other information and pass it along. I got this little thing working now, and hopefully we will talk to you soon. Good day. As Paul Harvey would say, good day.